So Imdex Limited and Acquire have integrated both our technology, which is the GIM Suite, and IMDEXHUB-IQ. And the purpose of that is to enable connectivity and providing a good user experience for customers who have these two applications on the day-to-day work. So the integration increases the data pipeline speed by removing mutual bottlenecks and providing transparent data exchange by including consistent and rich metadata in the transfer and providing the chain of custody information from the instrument field data to the final stage of storage in the database. So with me, I've got Adam and Michelle. Adam Dunstall is our commercial account manager based out of Calgary. He's been with Acquire in North America for coming up 5 years now. And he's got a technical background. He's a co-GO. He's been out in the field and that's the technical work. So his input in this matter is going to be extremely good. And Michelle Carey is the global manager of integrated solutions at Imdex. And in this role, she's been involved in delivering innovative new technologies to the exploration and mining sector and leads the architecture and promotion of their end-to-end solutions. So I'll just let them take over and show us what they have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you everyone for coming, and a special thank you to Michelle joining me from Imdex. She'll be here to help talk about some of the particulars in relation to the Imdex part of the GIM Suite integration with IMDEXHUB-IQ. The features and functionality that we're going to be looking at here today in this presentation are all part of the GIM Suite 4 release. So Steve Mundell, our Director of Product, yesterday gave a presentation on the roadmap of our technology, and the features and functionality we're going to look at here today are part of that release due out mid-2018. So just to sort of touch on some things that Steve mentioned yesterday, there's a lot of talk at the moment in our industry about innovation. People are changing the way they work from traditional ways to they're adopting new technologies, they're abandoning old ways of working and moving to more digital ways of working, taking us towards this concept of the digital mine. So people, organizations out there, some may be represented here, are experimenting with new technologies, new ways of working to sort of help improve efficiency within their workplaces. So in response to this, these industry changes, Acquire is working our technology direction around streamlining the availability of data from the point of capture to the GIM Suite software so that you can use and utilize that data, interrogate it, and one of the examples of this is our integration with the Imdex Hub. So the aim of the GIM Suite and IMDEXHUB integration is to improve the management of data collected through these instruments and sensors that Imdex utilizes, leveraging web services to allow seamless transfer of validated data, sensor data into the GIM Suite. The benefits of this are that you will get consistent and improved data quality. There is richer metadata associated with a lot of these sensors and instruments that Imdex provides. And also to eliminate, the big one, eliminate manual bottlenecks and provide a faster turnaround between the point of capture so that interrogation and analysis can happen sooner back in the office. So just to give a little bit background about Imdex, if there are people here that don't know who Imdex are, I'm going to hand over to Michelle and she's going to give you a bit of a background on Imdex.
Thanks, Adam. So Imdex as a company, our reason for being is subsurface intelligence solutions. And we deliver that across a range of solution sets, so everything from structural, which is around core orientation and structural geology measurements, downhole navigation being our survey tools, drilling optimization, including innovative new products like MudAid, in-field geoanalysis, which is around really quality assay data in real time in the field, and then our driller operable gamma tools. Now with all of those sensors, we look to push that data up into our IMDEXHUB-IQ and of course then through to our integration partners like Acquire. And just really reiterating the benefits that we look to do when we do that, it's all about the chain of custody of the data, it's all about making the flow of data streamlined, it's all about ensuring that there's quality data being delivered, including the metadata, and it's also of course all about the data being able to be delivered in real time. Adam?
Okay, so the idea behind this integration concept is looking at this data loop. So from the planning to the syncing, collecting in the field, managing data quality, and syncing back to the GIM Suite. As part of this first release of GIM Suite 4, the little arrow there indicated in the red, that will not be part of GIM Suite 4, but it is in the plans to happen at future stages in future GIM Suite releases. But the idea is to get this data loop working properly, close the data loop, and ensure and minimize the amount of errors that are returned. So in an ideal world, you would plan your drill holes within the GIM Suite. I know some people do this outside of the GIM Suite, but at some point those drill holes get into the GIM Suite. In future versions, you will be able to sync the drill holes that are created within the acquired GIM Suite down to the Imdex hub. This gets synced to the field devices. The data capture then happens in the field. This gets uploaded back to the Imdex hub, where data is validated and approved, accepted or rejected. This accepted data can then be pulled and synchronized straight back into the GIM Suite. So there is the minimization of any sort of manual handling and errors that could be introduced. So a traditional way of working, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of places along this workflow where errors can be introduced. So at the point of capture, in a traditional workflow, your files are often maybe emailed, put on a USB, sent back to the office. That can introduce a time frame that is not ideal. There's a lot of manual handling. These files get sent to a database administrator who would then be in charge of uploading that data into the database. And again, more manual handling can introduce errors, typos, data can get misplaced, people can go on break. There can be a long period of time between when the data is captured in the field to when it actually gets into the GIM Suite database. So through our integration and interoperability with IMDEXHUB, data captured in the field on a device is uploaded straight into the IMDEXHUB. There's no manual transfer. That data is then pulled down into the GIM Suite database using our GIM Suite 4 technology. This is automated using existing automation functionality that if you use acquired GIM Suite right now, some of you may be aware of, and loaded straight into the database, ready for analysis and use by those who need to use it. So how does it work? So the sensors, the measurements are captured on a mobile device or on an instrument in the field. This is synced over 3G or Wi-Fi into the IMDEXHUB-IQ cloud. The data is then reviewed by a data manager, accepted, rejected. That is then pulled through a web call over a REST API using the Acquire4 automation tool to pull it straight into the Acquire4 database. You can set up email notifications to go out for multiple points along this path, whether or not data was accepted or rejected. That is all included in the GIM Suite 4 technology. Then the data is seamlessly integrated into the acquired GIM Suite and available for use immediately. So sensor data types that are currently supported in this first GIM Suite 4 release are here seen on screen: downhole natural gamma, North Sea and gyro, magnetic downhole survey, drill rig alignment and collar orientation, portable XRF, structural measurements and core orientation. If you use Imdex at the moment and there is something on there that you don't see, come by afterwards, let us know, and we'll be able to give you an update on potentially when those things may be making it into the GIM Suite 4 integration. So I'm just going to pass over to Michelle now because we're just going to look through more of the specifics on how to set this up and get it working.
So from our end, the setup is a very simple thing. We design our software to be software as a service, so we leave this with our customers to set up. And to do so, it's very much a matter of you go into our Manage Integration screen and you identify the project that you want to transfer data for. The concept of a project within IMDEXHUB-IQ is the same as the concept of a project within Acquire or any other geological database you might be using. And then you identify which tools you want the data to flow for, and whether you want data to just go through once it's been approved, or whether you want the data to flow through straight away. And generally we find people either want their data as quickly as possible, in which case they do the latter, or they're really keen to make sure the quality of the data that hits their end database is as good as it can be, and so they choose to put that quality step in and do the approval. And then really, as soon as you've done those things in the setup, you get an integration key is generated, which is how we ensure security of transfer of data between our two systems. You hand that integration key over to your acquired database administrator, and then they start the setup process on their side. From our side, it's 5 minutes work, and then your data can flow in real time. Adam?
To get this configured on the GIM Suite 4 side, you use an acquire for import object. Under the source file properties tab, you'll notice there's a new data format that's been added there, the IMDEXHUB-IQ data format. By selecting that, you'll get a few more options appear on the top there. So there is an IMDEXHUB-IQ tab where you paste in that integration key that Michelle has just talked about there. You'll get your available tools in your what's under a box that's called sections. And as part of those sections, you'll also see the fields within those sections that are available for you within the import object itself. So from there on, it's pretty similar to any other import object in Acquire 4. You map the fields, add expressions, manipulate, run some logic over any of the fields you want. One of the things to probably be aware of is that in Imdex, a project name may be defined differently to how it is set up in Acquire 4. So we just recommend creating a virtual field there in the project compound of Acquire that tells you what the Imdex equivalent is. So that then you just pass a bit of code in and you can generate the project code for your Acquire database. So from there on out, it's just configuring your Acquire import object the same as you would for any assay or geology importer. We've got a little video here that just sort of runs through the process. Just thinking about it, there we go. So here we have an import object. Notice no source file. This is pulling straight from the Index hub. Go into your import definition, select that data format of Index hub. Switch over to the Imdex tab where you paste in your integration key. Select the sensor tool you wish to import data from. Gives you a list of the fields available. Fields are automatically chosen. Map them to your import object. Add any expressions you want to help filter that data. Works exactly the same as any other importer. And then you go through and you utilize the automation functionality that came out as part of GIM Suite 3.1. So you set up a task, you choose this import object to run. You can configure the settings around having that task run automatically. And then set up the schedule as to how often you want this to run, whether it be daily, hourly, and away you go. Your data will then start to flow from point of capture straight into up into the Imdex cloud and then down into your GIM Suite database. So in summary, we are hoping to improve the efficiency and the speed of the data pipeline from point of capture to being able to analyze and view this data within the GIM Suite. You get the consistent and rich metadata that comes along with a lot of these sensors, including chain of custody and other related fields, and improved data governance and data quality. So thank you very much. And GIM Suite 4, as I said, will be out mid-2018. And if you have any questions, me and Michelle are available to answer your questions.